hate myself, YOLO, thank God. All right, so on deck we have Brandon Thompson. Right now we've got David Gooch coming to the stage.
Okay, I got something to say. I'm glad you're still here. That wasn't it. I sit over there with my little camera and I watch probably too much. But I noticed that everyone that can get out without disturbing someone has left. The people that are, oh, excuse me, they're afraid to leave. So at any point during the show tonight, you decide to leave. It's fine. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Earlier, when we had Screamer Boy over here doing this, wow, that was an incredible scream. I kept thinking, that's when he saw Paloma's stretch marks, is when he... And I'm working on a joke, and I don't have it, so you're excused for not laughing. But Paloma texts occasionally on Facebook, and she texts Saturday that Megan and Katie and her were on a road trip up to Grand Forks, and I thought, man, that is the great setup for a joke, you know. And I couldn't put it together, but it's coming. Last week Leonard Cook was up here, and he had an easel, and I've always wanted to do a joke with an easel, and I've never quite had the courage to do it. But he did a little routine with an easel, and then at the end of the routine, he came back to where I was on the camera, and he goes, "Hey, David, could you erase that? If that gets on the internet, people will get the wrong idea." And I thought, who could get the wrong idea on the internet? That's just wacky. So here's my easel joke. So we're going to imagine I got an easel, and on the easel I've got one of those big white pieces of paper, and it's a graph, just like you had in geometry class. You got a line this way and a line this way, and then you got a line going down this way and another line going up that way. We've all seen this, and where the two lines cross, that's where the humor is. The line that's going, first off, the timeline is on the bottom, and it goes from like 1969 to like 1985 across the bottom. And then the line that goes up the side there, that is courage or something vague like that. And then the line that is descending, that is the quality of rock and roll music from 1969 to like 1985. Okay? And then the line that is ascending, that is the quality of marijuana. And where those two lines cross, I think, was 1973. And the reason, I'm substantially older than most of the people here, and occasionally you young kids, talk about, oh, Gooch is having a flashback or something like that. Well, in 1973, as rock and roll music is descending in relevance and marijuana is increasing in potency, I got a hold of something. I think it was dusted with opium, but no, I'm serious. And so my buddies and I are driving in the car, and we're smoking marijuana as we're driving along, and you don't pay attention to the things you should be paying attention to. I'm on the interstate system down in Arkansas, where I lived as a young person, and we're having our little marijuana as we're driving in the car, and I'm driving and having marijuana, and I'm driving slow. I'm going maybe 30 miles an hour. And we're listening to Santana Abraxas, and just driving along. I've got quadraphonic in my little Volkswagen. It's just going, I'm just having a great time. And I hear sirens. And I tell my friends, hey, listen, on the radio, they're playing sirens with Santana Abraxas. So I pull over and I wait. And finally, after about a minute, the policeman comes up And I rolled down my window. He says, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" He says, "Well, I heard you on the radio. I knew you were coming, so I decided to wait for you." Well, luckily, someone went speeding by, and he got distracted, and so it didn't count to my record. So now we're going to close with a joke. Back in 1973, there weren't cell phones, and so we had to use signals to communicate with each other. And I remember I was out hoeing on the back 5 acres back in the garden, and I needed the rake. And Joey, my little brother that I just made up for today's joke, he's over by the house, and so I say to him, I need the rake. And Joey gets what he's going, and so Joey says, I go, "What?" And Joey goes, "I can't figure out what he's saying." So I walk all the way up to him and I said, "What are you saying? I don't get your symbols. I told you I need the rake." And Joey says, "I answered you. I said, I left it behind the bush." Thank you.
David Gooch.